was going to say, we got a prize wheel down there. Welcome back, everybody, by the by. All right, Derby fans, welcome back to the arena. Do we have anybody joining us for the first time this evening? Or we got some, yeah, we got a couple people that got here just for this bout. A lot of people that were trailing through from the first bout, though. Nice. All right, welcome back into the arena. The Runaway Brides are into the finals. And joining me from those same Runaway Brides, Annihilation, number 772.
Hello.
That's right. So prepare to get told to cheer for defense.
That's right. Defense wins games.
So it's a pleasure to welcome you back. We are just about ready to get going the second bout and determine the other competitors in our championship bout on May 11th. So, to begin the introductions, I would love to toss it over to Annihilation to bring you...
Skating tonight for the Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers take the track. The Coffin Draggers. The Coffin Draggers. The Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers, get on the track. Coffin Draggers. The Coffin Draggers.
There we are.
There we go. There we go. Skating it out. From who is captain? Okay. Number 13, Hugs and Stitches. Oh. Stitches went. Yeah. I'll start over. It's the playoffs. There we go. Stitches, get back on the track. There we go. We'll start from the top. Number 13, Hugs and Stitches. Number 18, Embezzlement. Number 23, Murder Mittens. Number 30, Zora La Bruja. 5.7 liter, Bone Sauce. 0.070, Invader Slim. 96, All of You Die. 333, Bed Bugs Bunny. 1312, Rickety Bones. 7780, Pee Wee Vermin. Your co-captain this evening, number 666, Strange. And the captain of the Coffin Draggers, it's your Aunt Tifa.
Those are competitors number 1, and now taking the track in red, it's the Bombshells. The Bombshells fans in the house, give me a give 'em hell, Bombshells. Skating tonight for the Bombshells, number 3, Enema Burns. Number 24K, Gold Digger. Number 48, Beater Cottontail. Number 6, Anakin Shit Talker. Number 55, Skid Vicious. Number 71, Mads Incognito. Number 182, Hannibal Lecture. Number 600, Thigh Voltage. Number 835, Skarin Jaeger. Number 1999 is Show Enough. Co-captain number 44, Magnum, Dirty Carry. Captain of the Bombshells, number 1897, Impaler Swift.
This is a really anticipated rematch.
Yeah,
the regular season game was very exciting, so I'm looking forward to announcing.
Yeah, the regular season game very exciting, and as we mentioned at the end of the first bout, these were the 5 and 6 teams last year, so neither of these teams made the playoffs, and now are both competing to go to the championship. So basically, we are guaranteed of having a team in the championship that did not make the playoffs last year. So right, looks like we're ready to get started here. Head ref Boyardee up here checking in with the eyes in the sky and the scoreboard, and we're ready to get started.
Looks like we're underway. Jamming first for the Draggers is All of You Die and Dirty Carry for the Bombshells.
These will be a couple of jammers that we're going to see probably a lot.
Absolutely,
if
heavy
not
rotation.
the most. Yeah, the two of the they're
Primary
going to
jammers for their
start
teams,
with the number
100%.
ones right here.
Yes.
Yeah, this is ace pitcher on ace pitcher.
Nice slow pack to start. Olive takes a low, as does Carry. They both shoot up to the high, trying to see if there's any openings. Walls rapidly recycling to the front. Carry is almost out. Hits Pee Wee Vermin, has to recover, and is lead jam. Olive working against a 2-wall in the front and is also out coming around on a jammer race. So Bombshells are going to look to get some points here and make sure the Draggers get 0. Clearing the wall. Carry calls the jam.
A lot of tightly bunched, fast-paced action. I feel like that's going to kind of be the norm there. So, honestly, I feel like two pretty, at the moment, evenly matched teams, at least this season. And obviously that's why they finished 2 and 3. And we mentioned the 2, 3, and 4 teams were all right in contention on the last day of the season. So,
yeah,
really,
strong blockers,
settling
fast jammers.
Settling in for a second very good semifinal.
100%. We're looking
That's
forward
right.
to
like
it.
the women's tournament. Those were very good semifinals. The men's tournament, not so much. That's just me, though.
Anakin Shit-Talker out there for the Bombshells.
And
Strange for the Draggers.
I was going to say co-captain Strange.
And Star Pass we have 2 Murder Mittens coming around lead jam.
Anakin's out as well for the Bombshells. And then we have very early Star Pass, as you mentioned. So we had 2 jams and 3 jammers for the Coffin Draggers. Murder Mittens down along the inside coping, runs up into the front blockers and calls it off with Anakin Shit-Talker on the pursuit.
Yeah, takes what's available, goes ahead and calls a jam. Remember, most of the time we're not playing for differential in Bank Track Roller Derby. We want to get points, and we want our opponents to get 0.
So, points for both sides in the first 2 jams. So it's 3-2 Bombshells in the extremely early going. And we are once again looking at Dirty Carry and All of You Die as predicted.
Most teams have just about over 2 lineups worth of people, so we are going to see what we would call a jammer rotation.
Right.
Primary jammers. Carries out lead jam, takes the low on Pee Wee Vermin, comes around with quite a lead. Olive still in the pack, struggling against a recycling Bombshells wall in the front. Still trying, Volt and Olive is out, not lead, but coming around still on a extended jammer race. Carrie's got plenty of time, see if she works against those last dragger blockers in the front. Calls a jam.
We'll check on the score there. It's an interesting question because back in the previous bout, which was on March 30th, and as we mentioned before, you know, people probably aware, but these 4 teams all skated. It was the Brides versus the Bombshells and the Draggers versus the Beauties. Now, I noticed at that time that it was basically a completely different jammer rotation than it was tonight. And it's like, and I wonder how much of that was playing it close to the vest when you basically knew everybody was watching your playoff teams.
I think that we're always trying to put up the best combination of blockers at any given time.
Okay.
And we play each other in scrimmage. So there's a saying, there are no secrets in roller derby.
There you go. All right. I was just curious how much of that played into it since the playoff, you know, the teams were set. Meanwhile, that's Anakin Shit-Talker is out. Lead jammer once again for the Bombshells and calls it off. We again had a jammer pursuit with Murder Mittens closing in quick. So again, a lot of fast-paced action. Trying to get a little game strategy in there, and the action just won't slow down. Gosh darn it. I want to talk. That's what I'm here for.
So Olive again and Dirty Carry.
Dirty Carry again, and Dirty Carry looked at us, and I would classify that as a weary look already. So this is, we have a power jam in the early going. It's a power jam for the Bombshells.
Okay, we have some personnel switching out there, so it looks like the
are.
Draggers might have a preferred lineup that they want to play against a strong and agile jammer like Carry.
So a full complement of blockers out there, it looks like. So
kind of working in a power couple there in the back, or Tifa and Vermin. Pee Wee and Tifa still with Dirty Carry in the back. Packs all crunched together there in the turn between 1 and 2. Still slow going, crunching their points of contact together. This is exactly what the draggers want. Not a lot of speed, which means that Carrie doesn't have a lot of space to accelerate. Carrie still in, working against a 3-wall of dragger blockers in the front.
Good
a little bit of recycle, a little bit of offense being played by draggers.
Looks like we've reached that point at which it is a stalemate. Nobody can call it off because nobody's gotten out. So that
a nice kill. Everybody clap.
Penalty kill.
Everybody clap. That's really
right.
difficult to do.
The brides had several of those, as did the beauties. There was a run there. I believe I've been watching Bank Track Roller Derby for 7 years. You've been watching it a bit longer. I think that 6 jams is the longest streak I've ever seen of no scoring. It was crazy.
It was a very low scoring,
yeah.
The beginning of the third quarter specifically, and I would have to
yes,
give
it was.
kudos
And
to the
I
beauties.
don't think I've ever seen 3 scoreless power jams in a row.
Right.
It blew my
and definitely
mind. Oh. All right, so we rolled into an official timeout here. We had Infidel Castro, one of our regulators, back down there in the very deep of turn 2. So I wanted to apologize. Usually we get right off the mic when we know there is an injured skater or referee on the track. But Castro popped up and is back now sitting in the penalty box. Took a hard fall, they said, and it was out of our sight line that we were trying to look through the entire Bombshells bench. So yeah, but thankfully somebody poked us and let us know we had a skater down, but he's back up and back to the bench. Wanted to mention that our medic team has changed for the second bout. Nacho came up and let me know that they swapped out. Wanted to let you know, welcome Morning Madness, number 440, and Dr. Bill Levin are our medics tonight out there for this bout. So, already called into action very briefly there to check on Infidel Castro. Looks like we are ready to get back to the action, though.
Yeah, we're underway. We have Jaeger on the jammer line for the Bombshells and Murder Mittens for the Draggers.
That's right.
Very skilled, very agile, very strong blockers for both teams. Jaeger taken up to the rail, keeps running and is out. Lead jam.
Yeah, Jaeger found a big opening there along the rail.
It appears that the star has already been passed from Murder Mittens to Strange. Mads does a last-ditch effort to block onto the coping and is unsuccessful. Strange coming around second. Jammer race. Jaeger gets what's available, calls the jam.
The Jaeger was digging the sternum into Zora LaBruja's shoulder, and I saw the teeth gritted and then was calling it off just before falling off the track. So Jaeger puts 4 on the board for the Bombshells. Coffin Draggers again passing the stars, so that's going to be an early indicator of their strategy here. They're obviously getting that through to the pivot as soon as they run into any resistance.
Yeah, it's actually a really common statistic
Yeah.
that the more lead jams you acquire in a 60-minute game, the more likely you are to win.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's Hannibal Lecture up there for her first jam of the evening.
It
Star
is.
is already stashed.
It is also.
And Tifa takes her all the way to the rail and down at the highest, just about the highest angle of the track right there between turn 1 and 2.
All of you die is for the jamming for the Draggers, and just as I say that, gets out. It was kind of a cluttered, disorganized pack, and all of a sudden it was just like, oh, there's nobody in front of me, and just took off. So, meanwhile, now getting out of the pack, taking over his jammer is Skid Vicious. So our first star passed by the Bombshells.
So Haney did go ahead and take that star
right.
off and pass it to Skid. Gare Bear calling it for Olive to call it, which he does.
All right.
I believe almost half of the jam time had elapsed before we had a lead jam there. So great job defensively by both teams.
Very, very evenly split so far. I try to track stats like that in my head as best I can. I tried to track it with pencil once, and that was futile. All I did was mess up raffle numbers. So, but yeah, I would say so far pretty balanced. We got Anakin Shit Talker once again, number 6th for the Bombshells.
Looks like Strange there with a stash. Don't know if they intend to pass it just yet. Anakin's still in the pack, working against Stitches on the rail, high between turns 1 and 2. Takes her all the way up to the rail and then all the way to the coping, but can't hang on. Anakin coming around the second straightaway and is out lead. Jaeger trying to keep Strange just in and was unsuccessful. Anakin calls the jam.
Big cheer from the Bombshells crowd. That would have been an interesting jammer race. As I've mentioned at the last bout, Anakin has recently rejoined us, lived overseas for 4 or 5 years throughout the lockdown, and then now has come back to join us again in the league. So one of our longtime better jammers on the Bombshells, and then he had Strange, who can pursue nearly anybody. That's right, and we were also told that Anakin Shit Talker was All of You Die's childhood babysitter.
Do I also get to be Olive's childhood babysitter as her coach, or no?
Aren't we all kind of Olive's babysitter?
Hey. Dirty carry out lead jam right after turn 1, which is a great place to get lead. Get you lots of time still left in the jam to get as many scoring passes as possible. Olive working against Skid Vicious and Volt in the second straightaway.
Meanwhile,
and Hanny.
I was going to say the back of the pack, you got Pee Wee Vermin and Skater,
like
who, there we go,
embezzlement
that's
and Tifa back there.
Yeah. Yeah, strong defensive wall there at the back of the pack, keeping Dirty Carry out of the scoring pass so far. Might have gotten a hip in front of a couple skaters with 15 seconds left in the jam.
Yeah, what you're seeing in these really strong defensive struggles is those defenses really squeezing their points of contact together to give the jammers and the offensive players as little purchase inside of their defensive structures as possible. Squeeze out all offensive strike.
I did not see how Olive got out, and that's interesting because it was like 5 feet in front of me, and still I did not see how she got clear, but she found an opening and got out and forced the call off. So meanwhile.
Yep, jamming for the first time tonight for the Bombshells, Mads Incognito. And I believe that might be, is that Murder Mittens' second time?
Murder Mittens once again.
Murder Mittens
Second time starting as jammer, third time jamming overall.
Yeah. Coming through, Mads out right away, right after the pivot alley. Really capitalizing on the amount of time she'll have to score points in this jam. It's really important for the Bombshells to hold that jammer in at this point because they really want to make sure that Mads has as much time to score as possible. Coming around against Zora and Rickety Bones, out to the front, calls the jam.
Star pass by the Draggers once again to force the call off. That was Strange taking over as jammer.
Yes, Mads, so strong, so stable. Really nice footwork and the ability to skate forward and backward at speed.
We are already at under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. That is zipped by, and we are now, the Bombshells have put a couple of consecutive scoring jams on the board. It's 20-4 here. That is Aunt Tifa jamming for the Draggers for the first time.
Yep, and Dirty Carry for the Bombshells. Packs all coming around in a rush through the first turn. Carry around lead jam, coming around between turn 3 and 4, hitting the first straightaway again. Coming around on her scoring pass. Tifa still in the pack, working high and low, trying to psych those red blockers out in the front, and is coming around finally out on her initial pass. Carrie has plenty of time to get as many points as are available before Tifa arrives. She might get on and call it here, and does, calls a jam.
So Suki talking Smackhouse and I had talked a little bit during the first bout about early on before halftime. We had said that it seemed like both teams were getting out a lot, except the Brides were like 2 seconds faster. It seemed like the Beauties were getting out a lot and getting on the pursuit, and that seems like it's developing here. I feel like the Bombshells have had lead jams several times. Draggers are getting out and forcing a call off, but it's like you said, you chip away with those 4 points, you know, eventually.
For sure, for sure. I think that it only takes, I'm going to go with somewhere between 5 seconds or so to have enough time as long to come around and score points and to make sure that your opponent does not. It is a little bit of a hair split. So any additional time your defense can hold the other jammer in, it's like exponentially beneficial to you scoring points and them not.
Yeah. I mean, even right now, the Bombshells are up 23-4, and we're under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Bombshells are on pace to not break 100. So, and yeah, so it's every point's going to be very important. So yeah, the pursuit seems like coming on the back end is absolutely going to be very, very key. And you mentioned again, it does. Oh, the whiteboard is wild. All right, well let's put Derby 101 on hold. What do we got going on down there? Need a second marker.
It is looking like a tiny pack maybe for both teams. Yep, we got a jammer for both teams. Stitches for the Coffin Draggers, and Anakin Chickatalk up on the jammer line for the Bombshells. And only 4 blockers there, which is the least amount you can have.
Yeah, we've got the minimum in the pack, so.
We'll see whether they decide to play all offense, all defense. Both jammers hitting it without any fear. Anakin trying to get lead, both taken to the infield or stopped in the back. Stitches working one-on-one versus Jaeger, and a recycling Bombshells wall in Mads. Little power couple action in the front. Murderman's coming up to try to make a little bit of offensive dent in that power couple in the front. Anakin still coming in the back. A little bit of, we'll call it organic offense and defense being played. Still no lead. And now there is. Anakin coming around lead jam for the Bombshells. More than half of the jam expired. Let's see how much time she has left to score. Stitch is still successfully being held in by Mads and Jaeger. They like it that way. Stitches might not get much more help. We'll see. Stitches out, not lead.
So the action grinds to a halt there in the back straightaway as Anakin's just trying to make sure to get in front of both the skaters. That was actually, that was a fascinating defensive effort for 30 seconds from 4 skaters total. Really was, with 2 jammers flying around, and for both of the pairs of blockers to stay focused on one jammer. That was really something to watch.
They're actually really fun. I was talking to some of my hot shot teammates.
I had my mouth open just watching while you announced. I'm like, I'm just going to fan out for a second. That was really great. We have a Bombshells Power Jam now. That is a danger when you get those kind of like loose pack ones. You can pick up a penalty on a jammer. The whiteboard again very populated. So there goes Skid.
Stitch takes Skid takes a fall, a double knee rock star slide, a super quick recovery, and just coming around on her initial scoring pass.
Coffin Draggers have the minimum of blockers. The Bombshells have 1 extra blocker out there, which definitely gives them an advantage.
Little hop, skip, and a jump from Skid over Embezzlement's attempt to take her to the infield. Nobody on the rail. Dodges Tifa up on the rail in the second straightaway. Coming around on her second scoring pass now.
There's 22 seconds left in this power jam, and Skid's coming around to the high side.
Bombshells really doing a great job at keeping what few dragger blockers are there apart, which is really important. Tifa does escape, is unsuccessful at getting to the front, trying to get into points protect, finally gets into points protect, takes Skids up to the rail, was maybe successful at protecting those last 2 points in the back. We'll see what they call it.
Very close. We'll check with Meryl Streak down there, who's jam reffing. We'll see if that was a full scoring pass at the end. Now we're checking.
Number 666 on the jammer line, Strange for the Coffin Draggers, 835, Scaren Jaeger for the Bombshells.
It ended up being a 19-point power jam for the Bombshells.
A pristine whiteboard, so well skated and cleanly skated as well.
There we are, indeed. Now everybody back out there, so all the penalties have been served and fighting
Strange
to
working
get clear.
one-on-one versus Swift in the front and lead.
Strange out and clear for the Coffin Draggers.
Jaeger running the high rail, successful coming around, jammer race. Bombshells won it fast, Draggers won it slow.
There we go. That's Strange clearing the pack. Impaler Swift just flung herself in the path and still wasn't quite able to get there and ended up crashing into the concrete for her efforts.
I'm pretty sure that the Bombshells in general didn't realize Strange was moving so fast and that they were already so close. Right.
Strange is another one of those skaters like Slappy Go Lucky. It's deceptively fast, I like to say. Just skates angry and skates quick and efficiency of motion, as you were saying about Slappy Go Lucky. So
yes.
This is the last jam of the first quarter. We've reached the end of the quarter clock, so we'll get you a couple of raffle prizes before you take off for the second quarter. Meanwhile,
Sturdy Carry for the Bombshells and the Coffin Draggers. Olive, you die coming around.
So
lead
Olive,
jam on our initial pass.
Yeah, Olive gets out. Coffin Dragger's going to close out the quarter with 2 straight lead jams to close things out. And
Coffin Draggers want to be actively attacking to make sure Olive gets a full pass. And she does, calls the jam.
All right. So we'll check on the score for the infield. Like I said, get those tickets ready. If you wanted the fanny pack or the solar bird feeder, the fanny pack or the solar bird feeder, let's give those away right now. It's 4 points for the Coffin Draggers. 46-12 is our score.
If you put any of your raffle tickets in for the fanny pack, get your white tickets out for the fanny pack. Here we go. And the fanny pack winner is 4, 9, 5, 8, 9, 2. 495 892. Do we have a winner for the fanny pack? Anybody?
All right, Derby fans, we are just about ready to get started here in the second quarter. Your game reset, Bombshells 46, Coffin Draggers 12 here in the early going. Both teams have both of their first half timeouts and their first half challenge still. Neither team has used those.
Looks like the Draggers are starting one person short, if the whiteboard is to be believed. Strange coming up to the jammer line, as is Dirty Carry for the Bombshells. Hello, we have a full complement of red blockers, and we're going to be down one for the Draggers to start off the second quarter.
Both jammers approaching the packs. Strange went into Gold Digger and caught a shoulder caught a shoulder right in the sternum for their trouble.
Yeah, tried to do a juke move high and then low, and then Gold Digger was still there.
All right, so tightly bunched pack. Strange is bouncing in and out, and Strange takes off mid-pack. Third straight lead jam for the Coffin Draggers. Draggers are going to look to put more points on the board. Big collision in the pack. Dirty Carry down hard on the infield.
Yeah, Stitch is doing the most to make sure that Carry does not get out.
Goodness. Strange coming through with a full head of steam and just got a leg taken out from underneath them. Wow, what a hit. Hit the ground, rolled, and just kind of kept going. Oh, my. Strange back to the bench and is going to go to the penalty box as well. That was unfortunate. That was a cut track he really couldn't help. Wow. Yeah,
in those situations, you just have to have the wherewithal to come all the way back to the infield.
Yeah.
Because if they wouldn't have stood up, that wouldn't have been penalizable. But it looks like
they
a stop. Okay, so maybe when they stood up, they were penalized. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that may be. I was either way. Wow, that was stunningly violent and fast with that collision. So, yep, we do have a timeout. So it's a team timeout for the Bombshells. Draggers put 4 points on the board, so the Bombshells are going to take a moment and talk this one over strategically. So 46-16, bring you some of our sponsor reads. I guess I could let you know that Al and ILH is currently enjoying Detroit Coney Cruiser. So Al's got we got a large order of fries here, and then it looks like a pita. I'm gonna say, we got Euro out there. Look at that. So we got Euro, so not just chili dogs. I did wander over there. Freya got food too and said it was fabulous. So definitely avail yourself of that opportunity at halftime. That's the Detroit Coney Cruiser. Also, the AZ Derby Dames Snack Bar is open as always. Visit the snack bar, grab yourself a cold beverage or snack if you're not looking for quite an entire order of chili cheese fries. You know, maybe a bag of chips is your speed. They have those there at the snack bar. All proceeds benefit the league, of course. And don't forget to visit the Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth at halftime as well. Stop in and get yourself some league and team merchandise. We've got new logos. We have a new league shirt as well. It looks wonderful, and I hear it washes up real soft and nice, I was told. So look forward to that. Anyway, I was going to say, the team timeout for the Bombshells was to talk about this power jam, and it's a power jam for the Bombshells, and it's scaring Jaeger.
An excellent job by the Bombshells. Defensive structure in the back there. Again, making sure Jaeger doesn't have any room to accelerate, because Jaeger, once they get going, is a fast and agile skater coming from hockey, actually.
Yes.
Yep. So we're making sure that you're seeing the Draggers make sure that their walls are recycling to catch. So Jaeger's getting a little bit of speed there. Olive tries to take Jaeger to the infield.
And there you go.
And successful against the two-wall in the front.
Do you remember in the Diamondbacks World Series when Joe McCarver properly called Luis Gonzalez's game-winning hit before it happened?
Funny that you mentioned that. I did not live in Arizona yet.
Yeah. You quite literally just said, when Jaeger gets going, it's hard to stop them. And then Jaeger just barreled through Olive. So, right like you said it. Once Jaeger gets ahead of steam, they are a hard skater to slow down. Clock's going to expire, which, that's a one way to stop a skater.
But what you did see there was the efficacy of how long it took Jaeger to get out, work in the Draggers' favor right there at the end.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
To decrease the number of points that time was left to score. Looks like a penalty for red and a penalty for black by pack skaters. So we have a 6-pack there. So 3 black skaters in the blocker box and 3 red.
Picked up 7 points for the Bombshells in that power jam. So as we like to say, offensive, defensive push probably if you're in the 7 to 8 range. Meanwhile, as mentioned, Hannibal Lecture along the inside now dashing out and taking off. There goes Murder Mittens. Murder Mittens, Skimble Shanks the Railway Cat, other names, making it on around as lead jammer for the Draggers, and now Hannibal Lecture is on the pursuit.
A little bit of a mess there in the back. Murder Mittens seeing if she can take advantage of the disorganization. Skid takes Murder Mittens to the rail successfully. So a little bit of contact right there at the end. We'll see what happens.
It's interesting watching from this vantage point. Sometimes when somebody turns, you get a really good look at their face. And Ricky DeBono was making a look that I could only describe as malice.
Yep.
It went to block somebody and just got right up in their gut. And it was with gritted teeth and with a scowl. That was mean. That was a mean block. Meanwhile, what do we got here?
Looks like a power jam for the Draggers.
It is going to be the Coffin Draggers' first power jam of the bout.
They only have 16 points, so they're looking to capitalize on this 1 minute
for sure
opportunity with no red jammer out there. Olive works one-on-one versus Jaeger. Jaeger falls. Olive doesn't have to honor that position. Gets back on to finish her initial pass. Bombshells want to keep it slow. Reds ideally speeds it up. Olive takes the high rail. Jaeger still out of play in the front. So it's not that Jaeger doesn't want to play roller derby. They just can't right now.
Now they're back in play, so.
Olive coming around in speed skater stance, making sure she's as efficient as possible, get as many scoring passes as possible. Try to take the rail on Mads and the coping on Jaeger unsuccessful. Out of play. Coming around with
I was going to say they just had Swifty goaded at the back for just a moment. It was just enough to get Olive clear, and that's all you need. You just got to unlock the door for a second. Meanwhile, there's 2 seconds left. 1 second. Olive's trying to get up there. Just goes in, back in first, and tries to ram a hip past Mads Incognito. We'll check on the score from the infield, but that should be a pretty productive power jam for the Coffin Draggers. Checking. They're rolling. 14.
Looks like
Big
14.
points for the Coffin Draggers.
Yes, almost.
And we've got a challenge. I started to say it's going to be a power jam for the Bombshells, but the Bombshells have challenged? Interesting. Well, then I guess it may end up still being a power jam for the Bombshells then, but no? I'm not sure. Well, yeah, we'll have to wait and see after this challenge. We'll get you the verdict of the challenge and what was being challenged momentarily. Yeah, no, Olive is in the box, so.
Put the whiteboard up and then put it down. Arms.
Okay, all right, there we go. So we're challenging an arms penalty, and it must be on one of their blockers then, yeah? So.
Yes. Looks like Tifa is planning to sit in the box.
All right. Well, we will get back to that in a moment. We'll get to some more of those sponsor reads while we're sitting here and waiting for the challenge to get started. It really actually, the coaches haven't even come out yet, so it's going to be a minute. Ref Boyardee is still like, yeah, Ref Boyardee is saying, let's go. So here comes Gare Bear and Tornado Alley. Meanwhile, like I said, so how about some of those sponsor reads? Yeah, some of our wonderful longtime sponsors of the Arizona Derby Dames. Lost Dutchman Tattoo, of course. They're a tattoo shop specializing in various styles, from realism to traditional. You can customize your own tattoo, I'm always happy to say. I proudly sport one on my bicep because I'm original. You can definitely come up and check it out. It looks great. It actually, I actually get compliments on it when I'm in the hospital. So there you go. Nurses like it. Meanwhile, that's Lost Dutchman Tattoo. They're located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. It's the east side of 19th Avenue. It's just north of Indian School Road. It's right there by that fancy newer Burger King and then My Mother's Restaurant, which has really good banana cream pie. Just north of Indian School on 19th Avenue. That's Lost Dutchman. Then we got Copper Star Coffee. They're a locally owned coffee shop, very locally owned by Mr. Bill Sandwig. And Bill and Ginger run the business. Ginger Sandwig, a.k.a. Beverly Kills. We'll take a second here and find out what's going on. All right, so we were just discussing, apparently, both teams have challenged. Both teams have challenged, so apparently they are going to challenge that jammer penalty on All of You Die and try to stop the power jam. That's the Coffin Draggers challenge. And the Bombshells are challenging the penalty we mentioned previously, an arms penalty. So we'll get back to that momentarily. All right, we'll have to get you an update on that. I'm being told from behind me that we're not certain. Well, there's at least one challenge, and we'll get back to you more after that. This would be, you know, honestly, this is going to be a points challenge because Lumbre de la Luna. Could you turn that around for us? We can take a look at it. They can't hear us. They can't hear us on the infield. That's the problem.
Maria can hear us.
Thank you.
It just says C, though. We don't know what penalty is being given.
But both teams? No? All right. Yeah, honestly, like we'll get the full story. It's not like we're just going to go back into the game action and not know what happened. It's just honestly we're just trying to figure out from up here before we get the full update. Yeah, that's got to be a points challenge because that was a eye in the sky. So, yeah, we're just up here, just peanut gallery, trying to figure out what's going on.
All right, something's happening.
All right, so now back there to talk to the coaches one more time. Yeah, Retro's going to fill us in here. All right, we are all sorted. I've got the update for you. We've got it all sorted out. That was simultaneous challenges, and we had some debate on whether or not that's possible, but apparently it is because it just happened, so that makes it possible. It's like doing improvised theater. You know what? Is it possible? You just did it. It's possible. Meanwhile, the two challenges were, as we thought, it was a points challenge by the Coffin Draggers. They were challenging for a final point on the power jam and did get it, so it's a 15-point power jam for the Coffin Draggers. However, the Bombshells challenged a penalty, and the Bombshells challenge was unsuccessful. So the Bombshells now are going to do the power jam, and
Guys, wait, please. Yep, so it's just Skid up there.
there we are. We're taking a look. So yeah, all right. Yep, we've got Skid Vicious on the doing the power jam on the jammer line for the Bombshells. Only 2 blockers for the Bombshells, which is why they wanted an extra blocker. There we go. Skid's out and clear. Holy cow, we're back to Derby. So 46 seconds to go in the power jam.
Stitches and Strange trying to avoid offensive strike. Successfully blocks Skid down. Murdermans escapes to the front. Active Recycling falls down unsuccessful as stopping Skid altogether. Skid comes around, another full scoring pass. Draggers should be trying to get to the front end together to neutralize Swift's effect is. What's happening? Okay, there we go. There we go.
There we are.
Active Recycling by Black.
Less than 10 seconds left.
Little power couple action versus trying to get Skid at least 1 point. Does. Skid goes ahead and takes a little bunny hop over the coping. Let's see how many she gets, because points can be scored in the air, if you were wondering.
This is correct. Yeah, I've heard that. Landed and then slid down and fell off, so that may. We're going to have to get off the mic here for a moment. And they do. Skid gets all 5 of those points in the second scoring pass. It's a 10-point power jam for the Bombshells. 63-31. Be about 8:10 to go until halftime. Scarin Yeager on the jammer line for the Bombshells. All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Olive down to the inside. Jaeger's going to get clear for the
Jam.
Bombshells once again, quickly.
Olive working against just Mads in the front, trying to get there before Bombshells recycle, unsuccessful. Mads takes to the rail and back up to the coping. Still stuck behind Mads incognito as All of You Die finally gets back past with a little bit of offensive help from Embezzlement and is coming around on an extended jammer race. Jaeger working against those last few blockers. Passes Tifa on the low side, calls the jam.
Olive coming in on the pursuit. You know, something I've noticed, I like asking skaters things like this, but I've noticed that there are skaters like, another way I can describe skaters like, with Jaeger and Strange, the way they skate in particular, skaters like that, they don't stay blocked. When you block them, like, they're right back on you right away, and some skaters, like, yeah, most skaters, I should say, like, you block a skater, it takes them a moment, and it's like they rebound, like, incredibly fast, and it's interesting to see different styles of skating come up like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Counter blocking is really gaining popularity, so you'll see really strong absorption of like velocity being executed at a really high level by lots of skaters in AZDD now. Carrying a nice little spin move there off of one blocker, calls the jam.
Yeah, we had a star pass. That was Hugs and Stitches taking over as jammer for the Coffin Draggers. So 72-31 Bombshells. Bombshells put 4 more up on the board.
Looks like a 6-pack. So, yep, 3 Dragger blockers and 3 Bombshells blockers. We got All of You Die on the jammer line. Well, not really on the jammer line. Way back from the jammer line.
Closer than usual.
Yeah. And Jaeger for the Bombshells.
Well, Cherry's not here, so it's not a fight.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there's Jaeger quickly up to the pack. Olive with the full head of steam.
Jaeger and Olive both try to take the high side. Jaeger can out-lead jam. Again, Mads incognito successfully working lateral movement against Olive in the back. Anakin last-ditch effort at the front, has to let her go, out of play in the front. Jaeger coming around with Bombshell sweeping in. Passes Pee Wee Vermin in the front, calls the jam.
Another 4 for the Bombshells up on the board. Bombshells are just trying to methodically keep building that lead. 4 here, 4 there, another 3, another 4. That's what they're working on.
Yep, we have Dirty Carry on the jammer line for the Bombshells and 666 Strange for the Coffin Draggers. Red sitting 1 penalty, so you'll see 3 red blockers and a full complement of Dragger blockers for Strange working against Skid et al. Where we go, we got Volt and Gold Digger there. Strange successfully taken to the infield by Skid. Carry working one-on-one versus Murder Mittens and
look at that.
Stitches. Stitches last ditch solo superhero effort.
Stitches stayed in play too.
And Carry is still lead despite Stitch's best efforts. Jammer race coming around. Strange not lead, but coming around also with a full head of steam. Bombshells want to get points way before Strange gets there. We'll see. Carry gets what's available, calls the jam.
Strange on the pursuit. Strange puts up, what do we got? Strange thinks they got 2, I think. Let's check that. Let's check that. Let's check both teams.
So if you are wondering, scoring does stop at the first whistle. Scoring stops at the first whistle.
Yep. The rest of it is echoes. And Al knows that as a skater, and I know that as the spouse of a referee. Meanwhile, that was 1 point for the Draggers and 2 points for the Bombshells. We have a timeout, and it's an official timeout. So we're going to talk that one over. Honestly, there are often when you see, we'll check it in here 1 second. All right, OTO is over. Official discussion has concluded. Bombshells.
We love it.
Yeah, no, that was a give 'em hell Bombshells out of the crowd. So the Bombshells contingent is in here. All of you die, not fooling around this time. Squarely in front of us for this Power Jam for the Coffin Draggers. So it is indeed a Coffin Draggers Power Jam. So that gets that all sorted out.
They're absolutely looking to capitalize on this
again, if
no bombshell jammer opportunity. 3-wall in the front. Black working against Skid as a goat in the back. Pack is very close together, though. You see, there you go. You see some swarming there from the Black offensive players trying to get bodies on bodies, break points of contact to give Olive some purchase in between those red seams, which is the contact that is formed between two skaters. Olive is coming around. It did take over half of the jam for her to get out, but she should have enough time.
That was another move. To just sometimes I just see things that make me just kind of go slack-jawed. Swifty got an elbow. Not quite an elbow, but really got and just kind of gave Olive a shove, and Olive bent and then never wavered. It was just like you said, absorption. Meanwhile, 1 second left, and oh goodness, look out!
A beautiful sweep by M there on the high side. Olive saw it in advance, went ahead and took what was available. See how many she's awarded on that last pass there.
That is going to be, we're counting them up, it's going to be a 9-point Power Jam for the Coffin Draggers. Here in the late going of the second quarter, we're looking at Scary Jaeger once again for the Bombshells, and it's going to be Hugs and Stitches for the Coffin Draggers. Just under 3 minutes to go until halftime. And Stitches kind of hops over former Minor Assault's teammate Mads Incognito on the inside, just sort of right up in the air. Stayed on the track, lead jammer for the Draggers.
Stitches coming around. Wide open rail, goes ahead and sweeps past Swift. That's hard to say. Sweeps past Swift.
Yep.
Jaeger also out. Successfully full pass for Stitches before Jaeger has an opportunity to score.
We're closing in on halftime here, and it was actually the end of the first quarter the Draggers put together a couple of very...
Olive is not wearing a helmet, Fanny. Now she's back. Olive on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers.
There we are.
And
right.
Dirty Carry for the Bombshells.
That was a 5-point jam for the Draggers, by the way.
Yep, nice little gap close there. They need those points as we head into the halftime. Carry takes mid and then fakes high. Olive fakes low and takes mid. Both still currently working against their opponents' blocking structures. Olive working against Hannibal Lecture there in the down by the coping. Carry out in the high side of turn 2 coming around to score. Olive still in the pack. Works high, works low. Tries to get those shoulders in and read the offense that's being provided to her by Bed Bugs Bunny up there in the front. Vermin swarms to the front to try to play offense, but nothing broke apart, so I'm not exactly sure. There we go, working one-on-one versus Dirty Carry. Dirty Carry uses her mechanical advantage on the high side coming out of turn 4 and is coming around again to score. Olive finally out. Bombshells want to capitalize on this scoring pass. Tifa and M working very well together to make sure that all the space that Carry needs to get away is taken up. Carry calls a jam. Whiteboard looking lively there for the Coffin Draggers. Looks like they have a tiny pack.
We got a timeout. This is going to be another official timeout, so maybe that whiteboard won't be as empty as we thought it was. We got to check in here. 1 second on a points check. We got some stuff added to it. And a discussion.
It's OTO. Yeah. Black and white.
As you know, you hear Freya. Oh, no, she just signals for an OTO. They signal for an OTO. So, yeah. The silence. Yeah. The silence. Tells me.
Sounds deafening.
If I don't go time out.
Freya skills are my favorite.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think we don't argue? I would just lose.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm loud, but damn.
Should we call raffle?
Oh, yeah, here we go. Yep, during the timeout, we can definitely give a call out of a couple raffle prizes. I did not even realize that was up there.
All right. If you put your ticket in the Sidewalk Surfer $50 gift card bag, get your white ticket out if you want to win a $50 gift card to Sidewalk Surfer. The winning ticket is 495-865. If you are 495-865, you just won $50 to Sidewalk Surfer.
Yeah, and if you're the winner of these, we need like a wave and an audible signal.
Give us
Let
some
know because
indication that you're out there.
We will draw another ticket relatively quickly.
495-865.
That's for the Brutal Beauty Sidewalk Surfer gift card.
Nobody. Okay, I'll pull another one.
All right, pull another one. Still
$50
trying to give away
to
this.
Sidewalk Surfer.
Sidewalk Surfer.
The winner is 495-864. Probably in the same strip. Hey, we have the
No.
winner. We found him. They were both his
the
anyway.
gentleman down
Double
here is
winner.
checking. Okay, sorry. Maybe we shouldn't quite give him away quite so fast. Yeah, there you go. Take that on down there. Gentleman. The gentleman with the tall boy. Or something. I don't know. It's probably a tall monster. Anyway, heading
That's
over
Audimus Prime's husband.
there you go. All right.
League supporter. And we're underway. We have Strange on the jammer line, 666 for the Coffin Draggers, Anakin Shit Talker on the jammer line for the Bombshells. And a little bit of penalties being served for sure. We have only 3 bombshell blockers up there, and a tiny pack of 2 for the Coffin Draggers.
It ended up being a pretty prodigious penalty board once it was all said and done. Now they're trying to get along the inside as Strange, and Anakin's going to run right to the front. Yeah, again, just turned and saw nobody and took off. Strange
Anakin,
out
yep.
as well, and Strange is going to get on the pursuit. So we got 2 real fast skaters out there right now. Whip around the track. Anakin stays low.
Trying to make sure that a lane is open that Anakin can take. Anakin takes what's available, calls the jam. Again, remember, scoring is concluded at 1 whistle.
We're
and we
checking-
will see some, so we have some jammers that are about that assumed risk and some that aren't. We have that are cautious and some that are like, hey, see what I can get.
Ended up being 3 points for the Bombshells there. This will be, what is coming up will be the last jam of the first half. We are going to be having Hannibal Lecture is at the jammer line for the Bombshells.
And that's your Antifa for the Draggers. Try some quick little movements. Successful at Beater Cottontail out in the front. Coming around on her scoring pass. Hannibal Lecture still behind a recycling dragger structure. We got Bone Sauce, Bugs, and All of You Die in a triplet up there in the front. Hanny breaks through and coming around on a scoring pass. Tifa calls the jam.
All right, that will bring us to the end of
All right, we have about 30 seconds until we're back underway. Now that everybody's back in their seat and back from the bathroom and back from the merch booth and back from getting adult beverages, I'm going to call the Bombshell Spa Pack raffle ticket one more time. 495-952. 495-952. Yes? Yes? Yeah. Go ahead and to your left, raffle table to collect that prize. 495-592. No, 495-952. Yeah. We got a winner. We did it. Witty.
We are indeed ready to get back to the roller derby action. We got 30 more minutes of game action to determine our second competitor in the 2024 championship bout on May 11th.
All of you die on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers and Skarin Jaeger on the jammer line for the Bombshells. Jaeger looking for that low lane, working against those two last dragger blockers in the front. Out lead Jam. Olive working against Show Nuff, Mads, Incognito, and Swift, and is able to escape out in the front. Swift out of play up there. It's got to just chill until the pack gets a little closer. There we go. Jaeger tries to get back on, calls the jam, successfully calls the jam.
Yep, I was going to say, very close, but it appeared to have gotten it done.
You do have to be really careful that you don't accidentally skate directionally when you're getting on the track when those last-minute jammer call-offs. We have a Stitches on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers and number 44, Dirty Carry.
And no points for either side there, so. There you go.
Still a very close game as far as roller derby is concerned. Stitches tries high and then low, takes a spill, recovers in the back. Carry working against, looks like Murder Mittens in the front, but is successful at taking the low lane coming out. Dirty Carry is out. Stitches out lead. Again, wants to score points. Bombshell should be swarming to get as many points as possible. Sorry, Draggers, as many points as possible. Stitches gets back on, calls it frantically, tries to make sure that those hands touch those hips before Carry's hips pass any of her skaters. Olive on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers. And Jaeger again for the Bombshells. Looks like two clear penalty boxes. I lied. Only 3 blockers up there for the Coffin Draggers, a full complement for the Bombshells. Jaeger takes a low lane again, pushes up against Murder Mittens and M again in the front. Same power couple that we saw last time. M and Murder Mittens working hard on versus Jaeger on the rail, unsuccessful. M out of play, as maybe Murder Mittens could be as well. Olive still working against Swift and Anakin and Annabelle Burns and Mads Incognito there in the back. Not a lot of offense being played for Jaeger. Making sure that Olive doesn't get out. Prioritizing defense in this jam.
24 seconds left in the jam. Now Olive trying to get a running start. And with that, the jam will come to a close.
So far, the Draggers having a little bit of trouble with that back wall that the Bombshells are putting up. Stitches on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers and 44 caliber Dirty Carry for the Bombshells.
Bombshells put
tiny pack.
3 points on the board there for the Bombshells. Yeah, tiny pack primarily for the Coffin Draggers. There's just 2 Draggers blockers out there. Bombshells got a full complement.
Yep, Zora in the pivot alley and Strange in the back, maybe offensive position. We'll see what happens. Trying to break up Skid's ability to move around by occupying Skid specifically in the wall. Stitches successfully gets around Skid, working against Hannibal Lecture, and then a recycling 2-wall of Volt and Skid Vicious. Hannibal Lecture also recycles to the front. Stitches takes advantage of how much distance they traveled, still trying to push through. Dirty Carry coming around, full scoring pass there with Stitches still in the pack. Draggers being split up by the Bombshells, which is exactly what they want. No recognition that Carry was even coming through, and an easy scoring pass for the Bombshells. Stitch is still in the pack. Draggers have decided to split the pack forward. Stitch's last-ditch effort, try to catch Carrie on the coping here in turn 4, unsuccessful.
There's Dirty Carey finishing another scoring pass. Just a couple seconds left on the jam clock. Stitches gets out for academic purposes.
Very successful regular jam. Very successful regular jam.
15 big points on the board for the Bombshells in the jam. Bombshells breach over 100, 105.52. So we're going to have Anakin Shit Talker now for the Bombshells, and that's All of You Die once again for the Coffin Draggers.
We'll see if the Draggers can be a little bit more successful, a little bit less of a three-wall back there. Swift successful at taking Olive to the rail, as is Mads Incognito. Swift one last effort there on the high side. Olive coming around with a very needed lead jam for the Coffin Draggers. Anakin Shit Talker still working on the back power couple of Murder Mittens and M, as Olive is solo up there. No offense being played right now. And there we go. Black offense swarming in, trying to get Olive a full pass, and they do. Olive calls the jam. We got Dirty Carry up on the jammer line for the Bombshells, and number 666 Strange for the Coffin Draggers.
Ended up being 5 points for the Draggers there. Under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
A crush of blockers up there on the rail, right there, right outside of the blocker box. Some quick recoveries. Strange working one-on-one. Verse is up. Looks like Skid had to let them go there at the front, coming around. After a sash, has the panty back on, ready to score points. Carey working on a friendly shoulder. A sweep by Skid Vicious to get Carey out on the scoring pass as well. Strange working high against Hannibal Lecture. Successful, calls the jam.
So Draggers are going to keep chipping away at this. Draggers put 4 more on the board there.
I would not be surprised if this bout has a very high jam count. We are really
very quick,
hitting it and quitting it with these jams. We have Olive on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers and Scaren Yeager for the Bombshells. Again, a little bit light in the back, so not a solid 3-wall of Bombshells back there. Let's see what is left over. And Scaren Yeager says, yes, there is. Goes in and solidly slots right in there with her other 2 blockers to make at least a temporary 3-wall back there. Olive working against Enema Burns, Mads, and Swift there in the front. Murder Mittens trying to keep those points of contact apart. Sweeping in, swarming in there, trying to get Olive a little bit of help there as she struggles versus the 3-wall in the front. Trying to keep Yeager in as well is Bed, Bugs Bunny, and M. Again, over half of the jam expired before we had a lead. Olive still working against the Bombshells in the front. Draggers have defaulted to defense. A wide open hole opened temporarily by Swift. And Yeager says, I'm done, thank you, please.
Now all 4 Draggers kind of came together there to really put a stop to the momentum during that. It winds up being 3 more points for the Bombshells. And we are looking at a timeout of the sort of an official timeout. So, official timeout. Regulators are going to take a moment to talk this one over. That was 3 more points for the Bombshells. Your score right now, 108-61. Bombshells in front with almost squarely halfway through the third quarter. We'd love to let you know about some more of our league sponsors. Of course, you've seen prizes from a couple of these next vendors. So not only do they sponsor the league, they also donate to our raffle prize giveaways. Sidewalk Surfer, the sponsor of the league, Sidewalk Surfer, and I don't know if you all are familiar. It's like a block from my high school, so I know what Sidewalk Surfer is, although I don't ride things with wheels, as I mentioned. Sidewalk Surfer, however, they have a large selection of roller skates and skate accessories. They build custom skates. They service all brands of skates, and if you're a skateboarder, they are all about skateboards too. Anyway, they're open 10 to 8 Monday to Saturday and 10 to 6 on Sunday. They are at 2602 North Scottsdale Road. That's Scottsdale Road, just north of Oak, right by Coronado High School, and a really good Boston market.
And we have a power jam out there for the Coffin Draggers.
We do indeed.
Currently being jammed by number 666 Strange, Mads Incognito, and then just before her, Swift taking Strange to the infield, really trying to squeeze out any additional space there is. Mads working one-on-one versus Strange to the rail, successful at recycling and catching. Swift comes up to make a little power couple there in the front, making it considerably more difficult to get around. Really putting on a strong counter block is the Bombshells in the front. Strange trying to tiptoe there. Skid goaded in the back, but not successfully. Wall collapses, and it's still 2 Bombshells in the front working against Stitches. Strange not out yet. Currently out lead jam. 12 seconds left. Let's see how much energy they have left to score. Red should be in points protect because they do not want to be back there when Strange comes around with a full set of speed. Strange tries to slice through head first. Let's see how many they are awarded.
It's an excellent defensive effort there on the back straightaway. The crowd was definitely recognizing Mads Incognito. There was 3 or 4 straight just rode that jammer down off onto the infield.
We do like a little bit of
We
edge of the
indeed
engagement
do.
zone heroics around here in AZDD. We got
So, I was going to say, a short pack for the Draggers once again. 2 Draggers in the penalty, well, both those blockers in the penalty box. And meanwhile, there's all of you die for the Draggers, and then the Bombshells jammer just disappeared. There they go.
Hannibal Lecture.
Hannibal Lecture gets
for
out
the
and clear.
Bombshells.
There goes Hanny.
Bombshell Wall recycling to the front to make sure that Olive is recaptured when she arrives. Olive takes a fall. Jam's called. It's good to see we have Olive being helped back to her bench. Also, we got thank you to our medics for all of their hard work.
That's
all
right.
of
They
our
were
bouts.
right in front of them right there. They were right up on top of that. So we got Olive back to the bench with some assistance. Get Olive tended to here.
Okay, we should be back underway momentarily. Looks like the Bombshells are getting their next lineup ready. Currently 112 Bombshells, 65 Coffin Draggers.
Yep, ended
with
up
about
being-
5.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Kind of when a skater goes down, as everybody up here is super concerned, and obviously you're waiting for make and see if everything's all right, and kind of forget to update the score in those cases. So yeah, it was a 4-point jam for the Bombshells. Make sure we get that out there for people who track that sort of thing.
Looks like the Draggers will also be sitting for 1 penalty. Murder Mittens will be in the box for an arms penalty there.
We get ready to get back to the action. Fans, don't forget, after party location after our Derby Dames bouts all season long is Boycott Bar. If you know where Copper Star is, Boycott Bar is basically right there.
You can literally see it from the parking lot.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it's right now. And by the way, at Boycott, I'll let you know that Filiberto's right there. It does not mess around. That's one of the best Filibertos in the city. You're just going to have to trust my bona fides on that.
Super nachos or what?
Oh, everything is generally good. really, so yeah, once you get out of boycott, hit that Filiberto's. You'll thank me later. Meanwhile, yeah, boycott bar, however, if you don't know where, I guess I should tell people where it is. I'm really good at this job. Meanwhile, just go to the place. Boycott bar is 7th Avenue, just north of Indian School. So I was right there by Short Leash Hot Dogs, and a really good Filiberto's. Thunderbird Lounge is right there. A lot of things. Right
A
in that
variety
curve.
of thrift and like consignment shops there as well.
You got
Anakin Shit
there
Talker
you
takes
go.
the rail, coming out full head of steam. Lead jammer for the Bombshells. Stitches is working against last blocker there in Swift. And then Mads tries to take switch to the rail. Successfully
Yeah,
catches
there's Mads once
momentarily.
again,
Enema
yeah.
Burn still working and is able to escape. Anakin Shit Talker coming around full head of steam. Show sees. Shows leaves a lane open. Some fancy footwork there by Anakin in the front to score as many points as possible before she calls the jam.
Sometimes if I'm sitting up, especially when I'm announcing with Johnny Pepper when we did at the last couple of tournaments, but when I'm announcing with Johnny, we'll sit here and kind of start doing like third quarter, fourth quarter MVPs, and if Mads doesn't win MVP at this point, I don't need a recount. That was again just completely right off the bat took Stitches out of the play, and then back in the backstretch again. All over the track. It really is just.
Yes, Mads
There we go.
Incognito is out there doing the most right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's going to be a power jam once again for the Bombshells. It's Skid Vicious out there. They just pulled down Strange. So with 4:30 to go until the end of the third quarter.
We have a little bit of a score correction coming in. Score correction coming in. And there we go.
3-point jam for the Bombshells. There
We
we
got
are.
it.
Score corrected.
Perfect. 115 Bombshells, 65 for the Coffin Draggers right before this Bombshells power jam.
Draggers do have all 4 of their blockers, though, so they do have that going for them. However, Strange is able to get on through. Really got Tifa kind of twirled
Tifa
around.
shepherding her players to the front, asking for Murder Mittens to come on. Wanting a 3-wall, an uninterrupted 3-wall in the front. Pack should be splitting. There we go. All the Draggers get away to the front. Just about. Murder Mittens still caught up in the back. Skid trying to run the rail. Successful. Comes out in between turns 3 and 4 on her first scoring pass. Took her about half of the jam to get out on her initial. And now you're going to see some accordion being run by the Draggers. Draggers should be walling up. They all escape to the front, exactly where they want to be in points protect in a power D. Forcing the Bombshell staff to sweep in an attack.
Just 5
Successfully
seconds.
taking Skid to the infield. Trying to. That was fantastically executed. Probably, maybe not even a full pass for Skid. Let's see. On that second one. 8.
All right, 8-point power jam there for the
Awesome.
Bombshells. Bombshells, of course,
Well,
trying to just maintain that lead as they go on through the third quarter.
Great job on the power D and power O by both of those teams. 8 points is basically offensive, defensive
push,
wash.
Sure, yeah. We got Anakin Shit Talker once again for the Bombshells, and Stitches
Ooh,
hugs
a little
the Stitches.
jammer on jammer action there by
Yeah.
Stitches.
And then Stitches takes off along the inside, out front, quick, and lead jammer for the Coffin Draggers.
Blasts out of the front of the pack. That speed actually helped her blockers stop. They're more interested in getting full scoring passes at this point, as they should be. Full scoring pass for Stitches.
So 4 points for the Draggers on the board. About 2 minutes to go in the third quarter when this jam starts. We got Dirty Carry for the Bombshells, Murder Mittens for the Coffin Draggers.
It looks like a penalty being served by one by each team. 6 blockers total, 3 black, 3 red. Dirty Carry and Murder Mittens underway. Jam number 42. Both jammers out on a very traditional jammer race. We'll see what Carrie decides to do. It all depends on what Carrie sees her team doing. So if you all were watching that, you saw in the pack a solid black wall in the back. That's not ideal for Carrie coming around on a lead jam during a jammer race. She wants to see points on the ground, points in the infield, points in the rail, points somewhere, not in a wall though.
It feels like the fewer number of people are in the wall. Like if there's 2 people, you got a pretty good chance at breaking their grip. If there's 3 people, you got less of a chance, but their arms are less extended. And if it's 4 people, they're basically shoulder to shoulder, and you got to crash through bodies, not just break a grip like Red Rover.
Right. So 4 people pretty effectively can cover the entire breadth of the track. 3 not so much, 2 not so much, and 1, again, that's a heroic effort.
Right.
If they're successful at blocking one-on-one, a jammer coming up at full speed.
Yeah.
The turns are a little bit dicey too. They are not really, but they feel wider because science. So it's a little bit difficult to move laterally in those areas as well. So there are definitely like jammer-friendly areas of the track and blocker-friendly areas of the track for sure.
This is a team timeout by the Coffin Draggers, by the by. So they're taking some time to talk this one over. We'll have a minute 38 to go in the quarter once we get back to the action. Let's let you know about Siphon Draw Apothecary. You did see that Siphon Draw Apothecary gift bag get given away. I am a proud user of Siphon Draw Apothecary products. I just put a fresh coat of liquid lizard lips on my lips. And yeah, and you know, honestly, like I lay it on there, and Freya will come by and be like, "You look like you have mayonnaise on your lips," and I'm like, "It is so, I love it. I don't care if I have extra lip balm on my lips. It feels nice." And I'm announcing this is a hardworking mouth, you know. So yeah,
tell
you
them,
know
Clifton. Tell them you deserve your moisturized lips.
The secret is I smear Vaseline all over my face so Freya won't kiss me.
That's why you look so young. It's working.
I know, right?
We got 666 on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers and 835 Scarin Jaeger for the Bombshells. Looks like a clear penalty box. So we got 10 people out there on the track doing the most right now. Jaeger taken to the infield. Strange working against 3 blockers on the rail. Last-ditch effort by Anakin Shit Talker comes out full head of steam coming around on their initial scoring pass. Jaeger still in the pack. 4 dragger blockers working together to make sure Jaeger doesn't have any space to accelerate. Strange coming in, taken to the infield by Mads Incognito here in the second straightaway. Laser focus by those Bombshell blockers. They see Strange, but not able to do much about them coming through. Coming around to get some more points for the Draggers, much needed points. Jaeger coming out. Ooh, Jaeger still in, and so is Stitches. Everybody's still alive. Nice recovery, everybody.
And there goes Jaeger out of the pack. Jaeger using the fact that Jaeger almost fell off the track as a distraction to get clear of the pack. And that's going to do it for the clock. Wow.
Yeah, so if anybody is wondering whether or not roller derby is real, there you go.
I've seen this the hits this season in general. I mean, now at Roller Rage was one. We had one at Roller Rage, of course. That was the one that the one that melted the internet briefly. Yeah, S tier. I saw. Yeah, talk about trippy. Hearing my own dumb voice going, "Look out!" and over again as everybody posted it on Twitch. But the hits. That's the second time somebody's almost fallen out tonight. This is the real stuff here. We have a power jam for the Coffin Draggers once again to close out the third quarter, so we're going to get a lot of extra time
Murderman's
here.
coming out on a really smooth exit right there in the low lane. Puts that panty back on. Remember, the helmet panty has to be on for the jammer to be scoring. Takes a jump, unsuccessful. Mads Incognito catches them right there in turn 1. Pretty commonplace to get a little hip hop, a little jump there. Working against a swarming bombshelled recycling wall in the back. Mads Incognito, Swift, and who is that? Hannibal Lecture back there working together. Hannibal sent forward to do a little bit of an offensive strike. Make sure the pack is being kept together. Murderman's still working, trying to get as many points as possible. Skid trying to recycle. Mads recycling. Offense being actively played. Got a little bit of a pileup back there. Running out of time. That's a jam.
And that'll bring us up to the end of the third quarter. I'm going to check on the score here from that power jam to close things out. 1 second. All right, it's a 4-point power jam for the Coffin Draggers to close out the third quarter. So stepping aside for the last quarter break, right now it's 123-80. The Bombshells are in front.
Okay. If you put your raffle tickets in either the Lost Dutchman bag or Rhea Riot's bag for a tattoo, we will announce those at the next natural break in gameplay.
Yeah, we'll
the
bring this up here.
natural break in gameplay.
And the
JJ just gollumed away. She just gollumed away.
JJ wants to win one of the tattoos. Badly, so.
All right, we're about 25 seconds to get back underway.
I was actually going to say, speaking of JJ, it reminded me of, I wanted to mention AZRD. Arizona Roller Derby is one of our our flat track leagues here in town. And fat track is what I use. Boo. That's a flat track. Meanwhile, anyway, so they recently put together their all-star travel team for the season, and they brought over some skaters from AZDD who tried out and made the team. So if you go to an Arizona Roller Derby flat track bout, you may well see some of the skaters you know from AZDD. So, but check out your favorite flat track leagues in town. We have Arizona Roller Derby, Phoenix RD, Phoenix Roller Derby, Arizona Skate Club, Arizona Roller Girls.
All right, if you have not visited Arizona Derby Dames merch booth, do that now. And if you have any more like dashes on your adult beverage donation cup, it is last call. Last call at the merch booth for adult beverages or merchandise. Hit that snack bar too on your way out.
So we got Dirty
Last
Carry. Dirty Carry is working up and down the pack, and then it manages to break free. So Dirty Carry's out for the Bombshells. You got Strange at the back of the pack, and is now racing free as well to keep this at one scoring attempt for Dirty Carry.
You see the draggers there and trying to get into points protect. Bombshell successful at sweeping up Murder Mittens and Azora in the back. No points scored by the draggers. They didn't get there in time. We'll see what Dirty Carry was awarded. 2 points for Dirty Carry.
There we are. Back out on the jammer line. There's All of You Die. Like I always say, when a skater takes a tumble and hits the ground, we always love to see him back out there on their wheels. So, it's All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Anakin Shit Talker for the Bombshells. Also, they took those raffle bags back for the tattoos, so if you want to... Nope, they did not. Okay, never mind. They took the other bags. Skip that.
All of You Die tries to scoop their pass on the coping. Pass Swift unsuccessful. Swift also takes her up to the rail.
Anakin Shit Talker just violently disposed of Hugs and Stitches there in the turn. That was a clearing of the way. Meanwhile, Olive out for the draggers.
A really nice 3-wall structure in the front. Swarming offense from the Bombshells to break that apart. Dragger wall in the back is successful at forcing Anakin to call the jam, as Olive was coming around on a scoring pass as well. Strange on the jammer line, 666 for the Coffin Draggers. And 44, Dirty Carry for the Bombshells.
Each team having a late penalty filter in, so it's 3-on-3 in the blocker box. No. Surprise. Zora comes back just in time.
Just in time, makes it back there. That is a penalizable offense if you don't have everybody up there when you're supposed to.
Yep.
Dirty Carry working versus M in the back, and Stitches sweeping Carry the rest of the way to the infield. Strange coming around lead jam. Bombshells trying to get together. Stash. Jammer panty is off. Carry decides to default, at least temporarily, to defense. Tries to use that opportunity as the pack speeds up to get out. Looks like M and Stitches and Murder Mittens have Carry's number in the front. Strange coming around to score.
Well, another big collision here in the turn. I tell you what, Strange has very little respect for life and limb. That's the third time I've seen Strange just throw themselves through the air wholesale.
Jam's
trying
over.
to get through the corner. My goodness. Takes a hit. A little worse for the wear heading back to the bench. But you know what? That's roller derby. You're not going to get ahead if you don't try to get ahead. So
yes,
they're not just going to move aside and let you move on through.
It's a sport of assumed risk.
Yes,
for sure.
That's also correct.
Okay. Looks like Olive has been recalled.
So
that means a power jam.
For the Bombshells. Yeah, honestly, the Coffin Draggers had closed it up to 126.86 right there with the 6-point jam, and now Skid is out there to try once again to put a bunch of points on the board for the Bombshells.
Skid easily out before the turn 2. It's a fantastic time to escape the pack. Again, gives you plenty of time and preserves your energy to get as many scoring passes as possible. Volt with an offensive strike to the front. Successful at moving Stitches and Rickety Bones far enough forward for Skid to work against in the front. Able to catch Skid, however, recycle to the front and get ready for another power couple action there. Mads Incognito sweeps up and successfully springs Skid to finish that scoring pass, coming back around with 20 seconds left in the jam.
Got a knee strap flapping in the breeze as Skid comes by. 11 seconds left on the jam as Skid approaches the pack for another attempt.
No wall at the moment. Skid with a little hop and a jumps. Realizes there's only a few seconds left. Takes some time to adjust her gear and lets the jam clock expire. Looks like the whiteboard is lit up, so we'll see what's happening as those come on. Ooh, there's that natural timeout.
Timeout, there we
go. So here we go. We're going to call.
Bombshells are going to take a timeout. We're going to check the score here momentarily. I believe that was, what do we have on that one for the Bombshells?
All right, if you are looking to get the Lost Dutchman tattoo, if you put your raffle tickets in the Lost Dutchman tattoo gold bag, here we go. Lost Dutchman tattoo. 496008. The winner of the Lost Dutchman tattoo, 496008. 496008.
We got a winner down there? It looks like it.
Somebody won down there, yes?
Hey!
Okay, 496008, Lost Dutchman tattoo. Please claim your prize at the raffle table. Blair, give him a wave. There we go. There's Blair there. If you are 496008, go claim your gift certificate for Lost Dutchman. All right, Ray Riot. Calling it anyway. Get ready. Everyone keep your raffle ticket out. 495785. 495785. 495785. We'll call it again after this jam.
And we do get back. I heard somebody say I finally won it, but I'm not sure who. Meanwhile, somebody won it. All of you die a power jam for the Coffin Draggers after that timeout. So now we see why the Bombshells took that timeout was probably to talk about defensive strategy.
495785 for Ray Riot.
So Olive gets to go on by. Enema Burns with a good block at the front of the pack, but could not quite stay on the track. So Olive is out and clear rather quickly in this power jam. And now Olive trying to catch a fast-moving pack. Pack still moving fast. Olive moving faster. Now is going to catch up and gets crammed into the rail once again. Mads Incognito. My goodness.
Olive ducks past Enema Burns, takes the high side and mechanical advantage on Impaler Swift, and is coming around to score. You see some accordion being played here. Remember, we have to have at least one person from each team within 5 feet of each other for the pack to be defined. So you'll see some, Olive with some fancy moves on the rail. Another full scoring pass for her. Fantastic job. Without a lot of offense being played. There's a lot of Olive playing offense for herself. 495785 was the Rhea Riot tattoo claimed raffle.
We got an official timeout here while we look at those Rhea Riot tattoos. We got one? All right. All right, it's going to be an official timeout. So the Bombshells answered that, the Bombshells 10-point power jam was answered by the Coffin Draggers with a 10-point power jam of their own. So with 9:21 to go in regulation, Coffin Draggers are keeping it within shouting distance. Most everybody here, I believe, is a prior roller derby fan. It didn't seem like a whole lot of new people were watching. But yeah, 40 points with 9 plus to go that's a couple of solid jams and a couple of low pack power jams away from basically tying it. So, and all the fans know that, so we're in on it. But I'm just letting you know, if you happen to be watching this, I'm like, how is this?
I think there are some questions about power jams in general, successful power jam in general, offensively. We want to see those teams score 10 points or more. Remember, we're using the opportunity for our opponents who do not have a scorer for a minute to get as many points and swing the momentum in our direction as possible. And then, of course, for Power D, 5 points or less. We're trying to decrease the impact of us, our own team, not having a jammer for a minute. So 5 points or less, a successfully executed Power D. 10 points or more. Successfully executed power O.
So we got some penalties filtering in on the infield. Yeah, I was going to say Lumbre de la Luna is scribbling furiously. And we'll turn that around here momentarily. There we are. All right, we've got a Musskate situation, so that's actually a little more esoteric Derby knowledge. Musskate means that you have been assessed too many penalties to serve at once because you can only have 2 blockers in the penalty box. So that means that we will be looking at the minimum of blockers for the Coffin Draggers for this jam, and then they have to serve a penalty next jam because they had too many from this jam. So as I usually refer to it as the steaming carcass of the previous Musskate.
Yes.
Because it just gets even more confusing when you're like, wait, who, what?
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw some of the Utah tournament that some of our skaters participated in for AZRD. Same thing. There's kind of like a hangover because you can continue to serve a jammer penalty into the next jam in flat.
And that actually is, it's in flat track, it's a big advantage to start off with a
power
jam
start,
at the
yeah.
whistle. Yeah, a power start. It's huge. Huge
So,
in flat track.
ooh, Swift is, nope, Strange was able to just squeeze all of their body and just cling to the coping. There comes around lead jam.
Yep.
Again, Coffin Draggers need as many lead jams as possible if they are going to close this gap in the next 9 minutes or so. Carey decides to play some defense in the back because of how short the Bombshells are. A 3-wall is going to be better than 2 in this situation. Strange running up Hannibal Lecture. Enema rotating and recycling as well, successfully making sure that Strange doesn't get out clean. But Strange does indeed get away, recovers, and coming around. 22 seconds left to score another scoring pass. They have enough energy.
Excellent
Keeping a
effort,
point in
though,
the
by
back
those
there.
2 blockers at the front end. Enema Burns especially really getting in there and frustrating Strange, burning off at least 1 scoring pass.
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, there you go. Good blocking just saved you 5 points. So.
Yep. Each, I would say, somewhere between 8 and 12 seconds, you're able to hold the opponent's jammer is going to decrease the scoring by about
There you are.
4 to 5 points.
Well, definitely there. That's an 8-point jam for the Coffin Draggers. And
Okay.
you can see there, it was Strange probably would have had a couple more seconds without all that excellent blocking. So there you go. Yeah, blocking can directly contribute to your score, by golly. We're going to have another timeout.
Looks like
Check
Frey
on
is
this.
bringing him down.
That's right. Another official timeout. So Freya's doing a lot of bicep curls.
Again, Luna scribbling on that whiteboard,
Yeah,
I believe. And we're already going to be, red will be 1 down because they were a Musskate.
Yeah.
And then
that was black, I thought.
nope.
Nope.
Bombshells. Bombshells
well.
were a Musskate, so they have 1.
To be fair, I can't see the whiteboard, so I probably shouldn't opine on what it says. I'm just guessing. I think the purple team got a penalty. There's no purple team. Are you sure?
Lots of dry erase marker up there on that whiteboard,
Yeah,
so it looks like
we got real penalty heavy all of a sudden. And
All of a
really,
sudden.
honestly, it's just them out there because this is it. You know, you might as well leave it on the track. We
For
got
sure.
8 minutes to go in regulation. But Bombshells' lead is 32, and the Bombshells get a power jam. No, they don't. Here's Olive. Olive came around the wrong way. You sneaky. Olive came around the Olive entered through the back door. So it is not a
And-
power jam. Another small pack, though, however, the
Yes.
minimum of blockers.
Yep, tiny pack up there. Skid and Olive both. They want to get lead in this jam. Skid and Olive, what you should see is if and when an opportunity presents itself, either of these jammers just are going to just scream and just squeeze out. Skid decided to hang back. And
Now Skid became the de facto
but Skid
goat
is
at
still
the
going
back
to
of
run
the
that
pack.
rail as much as possible. M did their best to make sure that Skid took as long as possible to get out on the rail. Olive wants to turn this into a full scoring pass.
An excellent block there by Embezzlement
Calls
in the
the
middle
jam.
of the turn. Calls it off indeed. But yeah, Embezzlement wiped out Impaler Swift.
We will call the Lost Dutchman tattoo again at the next natural break. I swore I saw someone claim it, but I was wrong.
Yeah, but no,
So
Blair
if you
Bitch just told
were
us it
looking
was not
forward
claimed.
to
so
winning
yeah.
the Lost Dutchman tattoo, you still have an opportunity.
And now back to the act. Oh my goodness, it is another power jam for the Coffin Draggers. So Draggers out there now. Draggers have cut the lead down to less than 30, and there goes Murder Mittens.
I am really impressed with the amount of effort everybody is showing out there. Not that they don't always, but this playoff game is to be able to skate in the championships and therefore to have additional games to play for the rest of the season. So it's definitely being skated like it's important to these skaters out there tonight.
Excellent blocking there on the front end. That's Hannibal Lecture and Thigh Voltage locked up with Murder Mittens, but finally Murder Mittens able to get through the middle. Mads Incognito was just kind of hanging back there babysitting the Coffin Draggers pack. So here comes Murder Mittens with 15 seconds to go in the Coffin Draggers Power Jam. Going to try to get through as quick as possible. Yep. The Bombshells are going to be up to it defensively and push Murder Mittens off to the infield. So that will probably quash any hope of another Power Jam, another scoring pass. Murder Mittens calls it off. However, more points for the Coffin Draggers, trying to close up this scoring gap. That is closing. A 10-point Power Jam for the Coffin Draggers. And don't look now, the lead for the Bombshells is 18 with 5:43 to go in regulation.
Even
we
if you are
just got
here
done telling you nothing was over.
Even if you are here cheering for the Bombshells, the Draggers are doing a Herculean effort right now.
And the Bombshells go on power. Oh, just
power
like
D.
that, the Bombshells have a Power Jam. It's a Power Jam for Anakin Shit Talker. What a timely Power Jam. That's how things happen.
They did a little bit of like personnel correction right there at the end. Not exactly sure what happened. Anakin able to stay on versus M. Bone Sauce goaded in the back by the Bombshells back there. Strange and M in the front making a little power couple. Hoping to work together versus Anakin. Anakin successful at taking them all the way to the edge of the engagement zone. Have to let her go. Add a play in the front.
Meanwhile, as Al was announcing that, on the front straightaway, a skater's axle came loose and was rolling back down the front straightaway.
Whoops.
Freya Hugs went out and grabbed it off the track. But yeah, that was, just a tire rolling down the track. A whole-ass axle. My goodness. There goes Anakin Shit Talker with another scoring pass for the Bombshells. Got 8 seconds left.
This is going to significantly widen the gap between the Bombshells and the Draggers. It's a fantastically skated Power Jam so far. They're so close to ran out of time right there at the end. We'll see how many she scored.
The Bombshells had gone several, I want to say 3 to 4 jams without getting any points on the board since that last Power Jam, in fact. Is the last time they scored was that 10-point Power Jam. So we're going to check on the count here. That was humongous. 13 big points for the Bombshells.
All right, I'm going to call the Lost Dutchman tattoo while the regulators make sure that the penalties are correct. 495-095. 496-095. 496-095. Lost Dutchman tattoo. 496-095.
So we're looking at All of You Die. This time for the Coffin Draggers, that's Hannibal Lecture for the Bombshells, and Hanny is going to get past that last blocker and get clear for the Bombshells. It's all about Bombshells getting lead jam here and controlling the clock as they see fit while they try to protect this lead. All of You Die drifting along the inside. Hannibal Lecture right down Main Street. Unopposed. What blocking by the Bombshells, just opening. It was like the Red Sea.
Hannibal Lecture coming around for another scoring pass. Draggers trying to get together in the front to make a defensive structure. Mads takes a tumble, as does Beater Cottontail. I think Hannibal Lecture was also in the infield. Olive is coming around to score. Hanny calls it jam.
And he calls it off, indeed. All of You Die got clear, but yeah, we're going to have a timeout here. And we'll check on the... It is going to be a team timeout by the Bombshells. Bombshells going to talk this one over.
It'll be a tiny pack.
It's all right. So Bombshells are out of timeouts for the game. Woo. Each team does still have a challenge remaining. So it ends up being a 12-point jam for the Bombshells. Bombshells are trying to put this one away. There's 3:02 left in regulation. That is right. We're going to have to see. It's going to be if this, so far, don't want to start prognosticating too far in advance, but it would be a very interesting rematch for the Brides and Bombshells. So We'll have to see. Coffin Draggers might have something to say about that. Oh, that's right. You played the Beauties. Yeah. Oh, well.
We played the Scrappers like 3 seasons in a row. We haven't played the Bombshells in the final.
I meant from the last bout. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. The last bout was the last bout of the regular season was Brides versus Bombshells.
Yes.
So the championship bout would be a rematch of that.
All
Here we
right, we
are.
definitely see some. Again, whiteboard was lit up again by Luna down there with her very active black dry erase marker. We
We've got-
have, who is that, Carrie? And Rickety Bones jamming.
That's right. We got Bones jamming for the first time for the Coffin Draggers. And they're going to pass
okay,
the star
little-
on ahead
little-
to Strange, who
Yep.
gets clear, stays on the track. Strange taking over as jammer for the Coffin Draggers. Dirty Carry gets right out of the pack for the Bombshells to force the issue on the hot pursuit. Strange to the high side, runs hard into the pack
the
and
jam.
calls it off.
Looks like Red might be sitting for a penalty.
4 points for the Coffin Draggers. It's
Yep.
161-122. Clock continues to run. It'll be about 2:10 to go in regulation when this next jam starts.
Looks like there'll be at least a 1 skater advantage for the Coffin Draggers, a 2 skater advantage for the Coffin Draggers. So again, only 2 Bombshell skaters out there.
We've got All of You
And
Die and
all
Anakin
4.
Shit Talker.
Yep.
Here we are, 2:11 to go.
Both of them trying to find their way through without any static. Olive's coming around, trying to maintain her energy in that speed skater stance, using the track. Fakes high, takes the high lane, able to get past Anakin Shit Talker, so at least we'll get that little bit of a lap point. Working against Mads Incognito and Hannibal Lecture up there in the front. In the confusion, Anakin Shit Talker does get sprung. Olive calls the jam. So this is definitely clock management by the Coffin Draggers. They want to have as much time as possible.
Draggers put 4 more on the board, so we'll be sitting at about 1:10 to go when this next jam starts in regulation. It's going to be Strange for the Coffin Draggers. That's Dirty Carry for the Bombshells.
And it looks like the Bombshells now have a full pack, and there is a one short. All right, Dirty Carry lead jam with about 1 minute left on the game clock. Strange still in the pack, working against Volt, Gold Digger, and Beater Cottontail. Really working hard there to penetrate that last 2 wall in the front. Does so coming around, not lead. Oh, I thought Carrie was going to run the clock, but she didn't.
4 points for the Bombshells. So we're under a minute to go in regulation. This will probably be the last jam of regulation. It's going to be a power jam for the Bombshells to close things out. Anakin Shit Talker is on the jammer line all alone,
Yep.
so the Bombshells are going to have a power jam for the last jam of regulation.
Yep. So possibly the last game, the last jam in regulation.
We'll have to
Anakin
see.
Shit Talker, Hannibal Lecture, Show Nuff,
And
Thigh
everybody
Voltage,
is not
and Mads
getting any
Incognito.
penalties.
Yes, we're trying to skate as clean as possible.
That's right. Oh, look out.
A little bit of same team trippage back there.
Yep.
It happens.
Track Monster.
Track is up with Mads Incognito making the pack up with the black wall in the front. Again, clock management by the Bombshells. Penalty management as well. If Anakin doesn't have to get out. So there will be, if Anakin doesn't get lead, Anakin cannot call the jam.
And Anakin appears to be completely content with that. You know, it's easy to not pick up penalties when you don't touch anybody.
Okay.
And of course, what they're doing right now is making sure that the Bombshells don't have any penalties so that there's no penalty jam.
Okay.
We say that as we get to 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's going to do it. So there we are. That'll be the final whistle of regulation. Let us check if there will be a penalty jam, but I do not believe there will be. That looked pretty clean to me.
If you purchase 50-50 raffle tickets, do not leave.
That's right. Get
if
ready
you
for that.
purchase 50-50 raffle tickets, do not leave. That'll be the last thing that we call
And
for
here
the
we
evening.
go. Head referee,
I have people
Ref
lurking.
Boyardee, is going to blow the final whistle, and with that, the game is over. 165-126. Give 'em a head. Bombshells. The Bombshells will play the Runaway Brides for the 2024 Arizona Derby Dames Championship.
That was the game everybody thought it was going to be. Very exciting, very well fought by both teams. As always, I enjoyed announcing it with you. Thank you for inviting me, Clifton.
And let's hear it for the Coffin Draggers now as well. Let's get a big cheer up for the Coffin Draggers. Excellent season for the Draggers. Again, just like the Bombshells, did not cut the playoffs last year. Came back to take the 3 seed. Another excellent season. Another team on the rise. Well played with a good, solid core all year. So be exciting to see what they can do next year as well. All right, well, that brings us up to the end of the action. So like that, there you are. Once again, Runaway Brides. We're going to defend their title.
Blair.
Against the upstart Bombshells, who once again were winless last year, and now we're going to play for the title after qualifying for the playoffs as the 3 seed.
Blair.
All right, we need a raffle ticket to give
I
away.
I need a raffle ticket for 50-50. Oh, there she, okay, here comes Prime. Prime has the bag. It's working its way to me. I think it was about $100. Your take home. Last time I checked. Last call for 50-50. Last call for 50-50. Prime is in the second straightaway. It's at least 100. I don't make the rules. They just give me the microphone. Y'all are wild. As you exit, please have a safe drive home. We know you could be anywhere else on your Saturday night. We appreciate you spending it here at the Hall of Dames.
That is right. Thank you, as always, for supporting live independent entertainment in the Valley of the Sun.